Oh, good morning. Good morning, Arts and Humanities. And welcome to this first installation of Arts and Humanities live and on camera, coming to you from Ryle High School, at least for now. That may change. Yes, that may change. Going forward, I'm not sure what's going to happen regarding me coming back to school. I may start broadcasting from home. And please don't be creeped out about this, but my desk computer, which is my personal computer, is in my bedroom. So try and get those thoughts out of your mind. But anyway, so today is the first in a broadcast lecture about our current unit, which is the Reformation and the late Renaissance. Now, the chapter we finished right before the time when we were all sent home, of course, dealt with the Renaissance. This virus, and I'll just comment on it. I'm sure you've heard nothing about it and are sick of hearing about it. But it's I've lived on this planet 63 years, and I've never seen anything like it. Now, does that mean you should panic? But what I mean, no, it just means it's different. It means that in our world, the world is a changing place, and we are now confronted with great change, and so we have to live through this, and it's changing our life. I mean, I'd been talking to my more social studies directed classes, saying things like, that epidemiologists, people who study epidemics, do not question if there will be a flu or a disease that will be transmitted through air contact, that would be debilitating. It's not a matter of if that'll happen, it's a matter of when that will happen. And so, I had one of my good religious friends from my old school, Covenant Catholic, when I was talking to him about, I don't know, it was the death of someone else. And he just said, well, none of us are going to get out of here alive. And so, yeah, there we are with that. So I'm actually trying to record this about about 20 minutes prior to the beginning of class. I look up and I see the number of people viewing, and right now it's standing at a very low number, and that's fine. But yes, my hope was when we went into this adjusted, whatever you want to call it, catastrophe, national crisis, which all of those would suffice. I hope that I would still be able to come and talk to you because, that's me. I'm a teacher who I believe in teaching his students. And thank goodness for this technology. Yes, I can talk to you about it. And should you panic? Once again, no, you shouldn't. But what you should do is you should wash your hands. You should avoid large gatherings of people. You should, I mean, the thing that, and I know that some of the people I'm talking to are some of the ones who do it, that drives me crazy about Ryle, and I watch kids all the time, is they're always touching hands, shaking hands, which under normal circumstances would be fine, but these are not normal circumstances.
Mr. Wilshire, please call 71309.
These are not normal circumstances. And so, hopefully you'll lay off of that. And also, hopefully you'll find ways to be productive here. This is not going to be an additional 2 months of vacation, and it can't be. I mean, you really can't, for your own benefit, for your own employability, simply blow off 2 months of your life and think that nobody's going to care about that. And so, yeah, be industrious. Read a book, for goodness sake. Find ways to make yourself a better person without endangering people. And you might not yourself be affected by the virus. Oh yeah, you might catch it. It'll be uncomfortable. But the big problem is that if you have a relative who is my age or older, or a relative who is very small and doesn't have a fully grown immune system, you going out and being careless puts that person at risk. And so, take care of yourselves. So let's talk about this Reformation and the late Renaissance. Beginning with the Reformation is a very odd thing in history, and yet it is one of the greatest events. And by great, I mean an altering event, in that the Reformation changed the way people thought. And trust me, whether you're Catholic or whether you're Protestant or somewhere in between, I'm not sitting up here and singing the praises of Martin Luther necessarily. Martin Luther had his many faults. Well, for one thing, he was anti-Semitic. Made no bones about the fact that he hated Jews. Why? Because he was taught to hate Jews from his childhood, and that was what people did back then. But what Martin Luther did do, that you have to sit there and say, that's a good thing, was that Martin Luther stood up and let himself be counted when there was something wrong going on. And he stood up at a very dangerous time. 100 years now, Martin Luther also, of course, had the advantage of the printing press. 100 years prior to Martin Luther, a guy named Jan Hus, Janhuss. Do you have to write his name down? No. Jan Hus basically said the same thing as Martin Luther, that what was going on in the Catholic Church was wrong, and that the church needed to be reformed. Jan Hus, and I'll send you out a picture. Jan Hus said the same things and ended up getting burned at the stake. And so, that was what happened to him. Martin Luther had the benefit of the printing press. And with the printing press, Martin Luther could get a large number of people to think about agreeing with him. And they did. Many people did agree with him. Now, did they agree with him because it was all about faith? No. Now, that's the other thing about the Protestant Reformation. To say that the Protestant Reformation was only about religion would be like saying that the American Civil War was only about states' rights. It's simply not true. And so, so let's talk about this thing. Please, I hope by this time that you have pulled up, have got your study guides that you were given before you left here. No, that's not right. I emailed them to you. That's right. Forgive me. This is all running together. Yes, the study guides that I emailed you, that I'd print them out. But if you can't, you should be able to have them so that you can look at them and utilize them. But once again, in teaching history and culture, we are confronted by that man-made creation called religion. What exactly is the difference between faith and religion? Are they the same thing? Answer, absolutely not. You know, a faith is what someone has inside themselves, is what they believe, it's what they hold to be true. A religion is entirely a man-made creation. And there are many great things about religion. Religious organizations have done tremendous good and still do tremendous good around the world. But at the same time, there have been a lot of atrocities committed in the name of religion. Like we just talked about the Crusades just a few weeks back. That was done in the name of God. All that murder and destruction done in the name of God. Religion is a man-made invention. It's a man-made set of rules concerning how one believes in a certain deities. That is religion. And so, yeah, in faith,